Thank you for inviting me to discuss balanced budget amendments to the Constitution and related statutory upgrades. I am Senior Fellow in Fiscal Policy at Americans for Prosperity. We are the premier grassroots advocacy organization transforming policy around the country to empower every American to pursue their version of the American dream. Congress should be the federal government's premier policy-making body. The best practices I'll discuss, including a BBA, are neutral, practical tools to help Congress improve budgeting, governance, and the exercise of legislative powers generally. Weak federal budgeting hurts us. Higher inflation and interest rates, lower worker pay, polarized politics, and the risks of debt crisis and default. The budget process is usually just something to survive, not a robust and inclusive framework for considering trade-offs. Many countries and US states have gotten into debt trouble and got back out with policies to reduce borrowing and with better governance, including debt constraints. Nearly all US states and prosperous countries now have balanced budget rules. I'll discuss BBA design, statutory complements, and how the House passed a BBA in 1995. Most constitutional provisions are broad principles. Congress applies those principles to modern circumstances through normal legislation. Any new provision should apply indefinitely as well. Annual balance is the original sin of most BBA proposals. Revenue varies a lot from year to year, so locking spending, especially outlays, to revenue would mean major uncertainty or, more likely, push Congress to waive the rules a lot. Many BBAs try to compensate for annual balance but create other problems. A simpler BBA, such as the principles-based BBA from Representative Moran and Senator Husted, may attract the most consensus. It would first require balance, quote, which may occur over more than 1 year. Second, let 2/3 of Congress approve emergency spending. And third, allow 10 years to reach full or primary balance after ratification. Primary balance requires about half as much deficit reduction as full balance. Implementing legislation for a principles-based BBA could start with Representative Emmer and then Senator Braun's Responsible Budget Targets Act to support stable, predictable, neutral, and flexible policymaking. It would set up annual revenue-linked spending targets for structural primary balance, balancing the budget except interest over the medium term. Emergency spending would usually be offset over the following 6 years. The spending caps would adjust for automatic stabilizers, revenue changes, and more. Automatic enforcement would help Congress stay the course. Instead of the ineffective sequester model, however, a more sophisticated incremental approach would be more reasonable, politically sustainable, and binding. A real budget that includes all committees and empowers all members would help Congress meet targets and do so much more. In addition to appropriators diligently stewarding their 26% of spending, 16 committees responsible for direct spending and revenue, including this one, could manage their portfolios as well. Representative Blakemore's Comprehensive Congressional Budget Act is a roadmap to effective annual budgeting. Finally, Representative Arrington and Panetta's Prevent Government Shutdowns Act would support a more bottom-up Congress that can more easily trim the fat. In 1995, the House of Representatives passed, and the Senate nearly passed, an annual balanced BBA. The special rule for the House floor set up a Queen of the Hill competition. The most popular BBA would be the text for final passage. Substitute amendments began with more ideological versions and finished with the consensus BBA that passed 300 to 132. Despite flaws, it failed by just 1 vote in the Senate. Better BBAs exist now, and reviving BBA competition on the House floor can show the way forward. A well-crafted BBA would encourage sound budgeting and would help Congress take up the additional tools to strengthen fiscal democracy. Thank you for the opportunity to share these thoughts, and I look forward to the discussion.